gonna be the actual gameplay. Truly. And speaking of the gameplay, we are going to be getting into it here with the first round of WESTL versus OSW. Let's go. Alright, WESTL going with a quick PCO here, but opting not to take PC, building up instead. Going for a little bit of macro play, trying to build up and get some early back-to-back against OSW right here.
Absolutely. OSW, known to be a player who sends huge spikes, so it is very important for WESTL to get something started, and get something started they do, starting off this match with a 1-0 lead over OSW.
Yeah, WESTL could be aware that OSW has the potential to send a large attack and perhaps trying to stride in order to mitigate that. Oh, big C-spin coming up from WESTL though, right off the opener, but OSW still alive even after WESTL's PC here. Not gonna find the second in time, but building up instead for a very nice C-spin on WESTL's side.
Absolutely. WESTL's decision-making is nearly unrivaled in not only how unexpected it is, but how tough it is to deal with, but OSW proving it is far from impossible as he builds up a ton of back-to-back in order to bring it up to 1-1.
Both players do not want to lose the early lead here. Tying up WESTL going for a huge 16 spike, and OSW's misdrops do not look like they're able to come out of this one alive. Yeah, WESTL definitely going for these early pressure, quick spikes, trying to win the round without letting OSW play the game too much.
Yeah, we know that WESTL is a self-proclaimed dot cannon fanatic, and we can see why. Almost 6 PPS of pure opener goodness, and that is going to do wonders for getting a head start on the APM early into the round. So it's going to put the ball in OSW's court, and OSW is currently balling out, bringing it up to 2-2 with a great spike that unfortunately left WESTL with a rough spot for that T-piece, which topped him out.
Both players going with a TKI, matching each other for now. It seems like OSW is the one with a little bit more garbage, but that does give them an opportunity to spike back real hard here. WESTL the one pushed to the top, utilizing the clean here, going down to the bottom of the board, but both players are still alive and kicking. OSW kicking pretty hard though with his back-to-back 12, but canceling it to fix their board state here.
Absolutely, and speaking of kicks, a great fix coming out from WESTL there, but makes a misdrop just as quickly once more. OSW fixing up some misdrops of their own, and actually we've gotten a rare pause in the high APM there, and unfortunately that pause was all the time WESTL needed to stack up a huge spike, and OSW misdropping that eyepiece was proving fatal in that round. Starting off this one though, we can see that OSW now is the one sending over the C-spin. An unfortunate misdrop on WESTL's side has cost them the opener phase of the round, but we'll have to see what that converts to in the main mid-game. OSW looking a bit shaky at the moment, making a lot of misdrops, but finds a great combo in order to survive, gets the multiplier out of it as well, and now these players are pretty even apart from their back-to-back.
I will say those misdrop fixes from OSW in the down stacking was completely ridiculous, and they're showing that they're still in this game regardless of how many mistakes they make. Truly, only the last line sense matters in a game kind of like this. But speaking of line set, 16 spike from WESTL, but OSW is still alive, going through this, trying to downstack in time, and barely making it out in time.
Wow, great counting to 4 from OSW, but again, these misdrops are proving so detrimental to getting a handle on this match. WESTL is just being given so much time, and time is not something you can afford to give up playing a player like WESTL, but he unfortunately misdrops the T there off of that strange floating eye overhang that he had set up. Would have proven very, very tough for OSW to deal with, so that is going to be another lease on life there that OSW will have to take and run with. And speaking of run, OSW starting to run away with this match. 8 back-to-back and a 25 spike will allow him to bring it to the finish line.
That was absolutely ridiculous. You'd think that OSW was on MasterChef with how much they were cooking that round there. But going into the next one though, new round, new game. OSW going for a pretty nice C-spin here, while WESTL goes for the PC into DPC, second PC again. But a misdrop is going to completely halt the pressure, and OSW takes the chance to capitalize and take the lead in the game.
Yeah, unfortunately, that Jigsaw inverses in the Tetra World Championship going to get its due destruction at the moment, and OSW not going to allow this DPC looping to get in the way of taking rounds. Really, really doing a great job of handling the opener excellently. And right now, there's an insane amount of APM being transferred back and forth. 37 spike from WESTL, and even OSW's insane amount of pressure was nothing compared to that massive spike being sent over. And once again, it is tied up. This has been such a close match.
Absolutely. Bad Goblin, what do you think is going to be the main deciding factor between these two players for who gets the edge in this game?
Honestly, I think the deciding factor is going to be nerves. These are two momentum-based players, and if they are keeping their cool and having a handle on the decision and the placements that they're making, they can both absolutely go wild. But if they're playing shaky, the opponent is not going to let that slide, and that can make all the difference in a match like this. As we can see right there, OSW making one misdrop, and WESTL taking and running with it.
A big factor in these games as well is back-to-back. As we know, the Tetrio back-to-back multiplier scales exponentially based on the number of back-to-back they have. So both these players are going to be trying to build as high of a number as they can while they play here. Speaking of back-to-back though, WESTL and OSW both matching back-to-back here with 5, 6, 7, 8 for WESTL into a huge STSD. Unfortunately, it seems to have misheld the T, or misrotated, sorry, and halting the progress for now.
Yeah, a bit of macro came out there from OSW, deciding to wait and accept some of the clean garbage, knowing that he was a little bit down on the speed, but unfortunately had to break back-to-back anyway, and WESTL had to do no such thing as he takes the first 2-point lead of this match, bringing it up to 6-4.
Yeah, truly a close match. Oh, but WESTL could be... Oh, never mind. Wasn't in trouble. That was just dot cannon setup. My bad. Going for some crazy setups, as WESTL normally does, into a 12 down stack, but OSW is completely clean. Both players utilizing clean to the best of their ability, but both seem to be canceling out from each other.
Yeah, not a lot of clean garbage ending up on either player's board here, and that is not for lack of sending. They are just doing such a great job of keeping up the pressure that neither really has any time to actually receive garbage. That's that no pass-through environment coming in clutch here. And you know what else is coming in clutch? That 20 spike on the down stack from OSW in order to bring it up to 6-5. An incredible find there.
Yeah, very unfortunate misdrop from WESTL. Wasn't able to find a WESTL fix, I will say, but this round, I'm sure they're going to be coming back. They do not want to lose their lead here. WESTL really showing that, though. With this back-to-back, OSW looking very clean, and another misdrop from WESTL means that OSW has tied up the game, sending over a message to WESTL that it is not over.
Absolutely. OSW has not let WESTL get away with any of these greedy setups. Went for a TST tower there and paid the price, but we'll have to see if they will pay the price for this opener gaming. It's not looking like it right now, because this is 5.6 PPS. 300 plus APM, insane amounts of pressure, and even OSW's insane APM is not going to hold up to that kind of assault. 7-6 WESTL.
Yeah, speaking of WESTL, though, waiting to take the garbage for the dot cannon, sending over to OSW here. We have very, very intelligent play. Love to see when players utilizing the macro play for their game to accept or tank lines, or cancel lines. Speaking of canceling lines, though, seems like WESTL is going to have to try to cancel out of OSW's relentless assault here. Oh
my god, he did it again. He built another TST tower and not going to get punished for that one, but not going to do much damage with it either. And honestly, these players are sitting in a pretty even spot at the moment, but OSW has a great opportunity to build up some back-to-back here. Makes the T misdrop, though, and that's going to bring any sending at all to a halt, as well as that round. Again, OSW's misdrops seem to be holding him back in this match, a little bit unsure of himself, and that is making all the difference here. WESTL doing a great job of capitalizing at every possible opportunity to take a round.
Yeah, speaking of taking rounds, though, both these players building up to try and take a round here. Seems like neither player is in quite a position to kill just yet. OSW's big power stack doesn't seem to send too much to WESTL except for a little bit of cheese, which WESTL clears out very efficiently here. OSW's misdrop not looking great for them. WESTL punishing immediately with a 16 spike. OSW trying to cancel, but they're not able to in time. And WESTL's lead grows only a little bit bigger round by round. And they only need 2 more to take this set.
Absolutely. You've got to wonder, how does OSW reset these nerves? What does he do to lock in?
It seems like WESTL is going to be locking in a L for them here, as OSW takes the W for a much-needed round win.
Absolutely. OSW, a proud Floridian, looking to take the East W and the West L in this match. And speaking of L, though, OSW may be awaiting one very shortly off of this misdrop faced against the DPC. And yeah, that is going to be 10-7 match point in set 1 for WESTL.
I say WESTL's PCs are absolutely disgusting, and it's not like they do it every time, so OSW does not know when to expect them. Very good plays from WESTL here. Speaking of WESTL, building up back-to-back, OSW push onto the defensive here, but trying to build up enough back-to-back to return the lines that they're being sent right now.
But it seems that OSW may have to return to a loss once more, but no, finds an amazing combo out. But will it be enough to survive? OSW once again finding the combo there, bursting, going as fast as he can, and WESTL unfortunately messes up the conversion there. Not going to be able to find the kill, and in fact, it is OSW who will be taking that round, not out of it yet, bringing it up to 8-10.
Yeah, OSW's really fighting hard to hit this deuce here. But especially with this MS2 here, but WESTL goes for the PC, not going to get the second one due to an unfortunate misdrop, and OSW hitting the immediate punish, unable to catch WESTL though, who was strided out of the misdrop fix here.
Yeah, but OSW greening a bit too much for this back-to-back is going to cost him set number 1. And that is going to be 1-0 WESTL.
Absolutely stellar gameplay from both players. But back to what you said before, Bad Goblin, what do you think the deciding factor in this game was for WESTL?
I think the difference was that WESTL was so clean on the conversions, just absolutely, the stack was so clean you could air it on Nickelodeon. It was wild how WESTL maintained the back-to-back through thick and thin, always keeping an eye on when the opportunity to spike would arise and capitalizing at any chance he got in order to always punish OSW for those misdrops, because misdropping is only one side of the equation. You can misdrop as many times as you want, but it's going to be the onus of your opponent to punish you, and it's going to be the onus of OSW to get back into this match.
Absolutely. Speaking of the match, though, we're getting into it now. Both players going for a little bit of setups here. WESTL seems to have misdropped yet again, but able to fix their board state for a little bit here,
Something I'm noticing immediately is that OSW is absolutely playing faster than in the first set. Now, we saw that 35 spike come out from WESTL, and just as quickly, we saw it disappear. OSW has changed around his strategy, and now he is trying to maintain back-to-back rather than spiking, and so far, it's been going really well. WESTL, unfortunately, making some rough misdrops. OSW not in a great place to capitalize, still gets a multiplier, but WESTL was able to wait it out and survive to another spike, and manages to reverse that round and bring it up to 1-0 once more.
Yeah, OSW is definitely on the defensive that time, regardless of their speed. We're going to have to see if they're going to fight for the offensive or continue to try and play safe. Oh, OSW definitely needs to play safe after this MS2 misdrop. Catastrophic on their board, and they're not able to get out in time as WESTL takes another quick game for 2-0 lead. This is not looking good for OSW. Definitely needs a lot of rounds here if they want to bring back the momentum.
Absolutely. You need to find some way to change up how you're thinking, how you're approaching the game if you are OSW in this very moment. And that change very well could be taking a round here, but they've got to get the spike off first. And unfortunately, that misdrop is once more going to prove fatal. And we can see that WESTL is kind of just staying solid, a sort of reversal from what we normally expect from WESTL, but it has proven brutally efficient in this match as OSW is sort of dooming himself so far.
Yeah, speaking of dooming, it seems like both players trying to reach the doom of their opponent here, but not really able to find a way yet. OSW type on the board, sending a lot of attack over to WESTL, and WESTL's unfortunate T placement means they are not able to spit it in to cancel in time. OSW finally on the board here, a much needed point for OSW fans out there.
Absolutely, and hey, I know I'm one of them, and if you are in chat as one of them, you need to represent, you need to show your support for these players, and we know that OSW needs it now more than ever, down 4-1 after some unfortunate misdrops. Both of these players seem a little bit shaky here, but OSW so far has been having a little more of the troubling tremors than WESTL.
Yeah, truly an understandable moment to have a lot of nerves here. Top 16 of the Tetra World Championships, nothing to laugh at. Just like how this back-to-back 10 from WESTL is nothing to laugh at either. OSW completely pushed to the defensive if they're able to... Oh no! WESTL's huge misdrop means that OSW is able to find a punish. I will say the defensive capabilities of OSW in that round were very, very well done. And they're finally taking another point that is much needed.
Absolutely. OSW proving here that while they may be a little bit rough at the moment, they are far from out of it and not a player to be underestimated by any means here. We know that OSW can make crazier comebacks than this, and it will be a matter of finding WESTL's weakness and capitalizing. But hey, speaking of capitalizing, WESTL capitalizing on some rough stacking decision from OSW here, but OSW still keeping this back-to-back despite it all, has to break it there on the downstack combo, and now it's WESTL who's trying to send over so much pressure, but unfortunately not going to find the kill at that moment.
Yeah, speaking of the kill, WESTL going for the kill with this 14 spike. OSW, very nice downstack combo, but they're gonna need another one if they want to live, and they're not able to find it in time. WESTL's back-to-back 14 is absolutely ridiculous in the APM, and OSW was not able to handle it that round. Bad Goblin, how do you think OSW can adapt to find the counter for this pressure from WESTL?
I think that OSW, honestly, needs to take a moment. Deep breath, in, out. And then put on an absolutely insane piece of music to just lock in. Because if there is anything that can get you back into a match that you know you can win, it's gonna be the vibes. And OSW on immaculate vibes is a very different player from OSW on mediocre music. So I think that's honestly the change that's to be made.
Yeah, but speaking of music, we're going to be hearing the sound of back-to-back here as WESTL starts building a back-to-back 5, and that is the magic number to take it from 5 to 6 for WESTL. OSW falling behind a little bit, but they are not out of the game yet, as it is a first to 11. A lot bigger than most games that you're used to.
Absolutely. And now OSW has a great opportunity, makes an unfortunate misdrop there, and WESTL sending so much instantaneously, the power stacking at above 5 PPS going crazy, but unfortunately makes a misdrop of his own there, and that's going to give OSW a chance to survive and thrive in this round, and more than that, find a way down. And now OSW is doing the spiking, and oh, an unfortunate misdrop for him, looking for the way out, not quite going to find it at this moment. And that is going to be 7-2 in favor of WESTL. OSW likely taking a moment there, resetting, and trying to lock in to make this comeback happen that we know that he can make.
Absolutely. I will say I loved the Kaidons from WESTL in the 9-0 stack earlier, allowing them to send lines without needing to cancel. But speaking of canceling, OSW going to need to do some canceling from this huge 14 spike, 9-24 spike from WESTL, and OSW's completely pushed to the top of the board with no way down. Oh my god, this is absolutely crazy. OSW has a massive mountain to climb back from if they want to take this game.
Absolutely, but hey, speaking of mountains, the stack is looking a little bit jagged on WESTL's side. This LST not the cleanest it's ever been, and that could give OSW a chance to survive here, and survive he does with that 18 combo on the down stack all the way back down, but WESTL responds in kind, a 14 on the reversal, and these players are pretty evenly matched at the moment. The only difference is that WESTL's yellow number is looking a lot smaller than OSW's, and that is 10 back-to-back. So tough to deal with. 12, and the spikes just keep on coming. OSW looking like the inflation stat of the US government, how he's spiking right now, but WESTL's survival unrivaled at the moment, just keeping it cool, keeping it collected, not making a single misdrop, and in fact,
the TSD tower from WESTL is ridiculous. Oh my god. I have to say, Bad Gilbin, if your jokes on commentary were setups, you would be the WESTL, honestly. This is phenomenal. What else is phenomenal is the stick spin from WESTL. Actually, it was a little bit of a misdrop, but fixing it pretty well, building up instead. Oh, huge misdrops from WESTL, and OSW taking the round here. Yeah, that was very unfortunate, but still a sizable lead from WESTL means they can probably relax, as they also have a game on top of OSW at the moment.
Absolutely, and WESTL looking to send this player down to a fresh West Hell at the moment, and they are doing just that 9-3, a very different story from what we saw in match number 1, and WESTL looking to make it only one game away. OSW finds a miracle down stack, but even that is not enough to survive more than 5 PPS of pure back-to-back, and it is 10-3. It is now or never for OSW. Can he do it?
OSW doing the MS2 though. Going for the C-spin as fast as they can. 18 spike to WESTL, but WESTL has the cancel, able to bring it to a pretty even board state between both players. OSW does have a bit more garbage to capitalize on, but a misdrop means they're gonna have to stride real hard out of this. And WESTL building up, going for a little bit of upstack here. OSW still in a safe spot, trying to capitalize though.
Yeah, and OSW having not the best stack, but staying alive in this match, but that is not enough to defeat a player like WESTL, who is going to pour the pressure on much longer than you can outlast it. And that is WESTL's win over OSW, proving that the run back is possible, and the WESTL has become the WESTW.
Honestly, I couldn't have said it better myself, Bad Goblin. Spectacular gameplay from both players regardless, but I believe we are going to be moving on to our analysts.